Hello everyone, this is video editorial for LeetCode Weekly Contest 277. Let's see the problem statements. In problem 1, which is we have to count the number of elements which have both a strictly smaller and a strictly greater element present in nums array. So this is the nums array we are having. It is having elements 11, 7, 2 and 15. We can see for 7 we are having a strictly smaller element which is 2 and a strictly greater element which is 11. So 7 is fine. Now we can check for 11. It is having a strictly smaller element which is 7 and a strictly greater element which is 15. So 11 is also a valid element. So we have taken both 7 and 11. We can see for 15 that there is no strictly greater element, and for 2 there is no strictly smaller element. So these 2 and 15 are not valid elements which we have to take in our answer. Now let's see what we can do. We can see that after sorting we can get some element here which are same. After it we can get some elements which are same. After it we can get some elements these are same, something like this. Now we know these elements will never have a strictly smaller element, and these element will never have a will never have elements which are strictly greater than them. So these both are eliminated. After that, these all the elements are fine because we are having a strictly smaller element which are here and a strictly greater element which are here. So these all are fine. So that's what we have to do. So I have stored the frequency of all the elements and in a map, and we know that map stores the elements in a sorted order. After that, I have stored the frequency of elements in vector B in the same order. Now we know I just have to take this. I just have to add the frequency of elements which are in middle. So I have not taken this for index 0, and in the last index I have not taken these into account and counted all the frequencies. So that's our answer. Now let's see problem 2. In problem 2 we are given that we have to rearrange array elements by sign. Means it is given that we are having even length of nums and it is having equal number of positive and negative elements. Now we have to make consecutive pair of integers which are having a opposite sign. Means if we are having a positive integer, then we must have a negative integer with it. Now for all integers with the same sign, the order in which they appear present in nums is preserved. The rearranged array begins with a positive integer. So we have to rearrange these nums such that the consecutive pair of integers have opposite signs. Means if there is a positive integer, then its adjacent elements must have a negative sign, and if it is a negative element, then its adjacent elements must have a positive sign. And let's understand it better with the example. So this is the example we are given: 3, 1, minus 2, minus 5, 2, minus 4. Let's first see all the positive elements. The positive elements are 3, 1 and 2, and negative elements are minus 2, minus 5 and minus 4. And we have to start with a positive integer. So first we can take this 3, then we can take this negative minus 2, and then we can take this 1, and then we can take this minus 5, and then we can take this 2, and then we can take this minus 4. Now let's see how to implement it. So we can make two vectors a and b. A for storing positive integers and b for storing negative integers. So we have stored positive integers in vector A and negative integers in vector B, and this is answer vector we are taking. I is for index in I is in index in positive element, means in A vector, and J is for B vector. Now we have taken this time equals to 0. If not time, then we are taking element from the ith from the A vector, and if it is 0, then and if it is 1, then we are taking the element from B vector, and we are changing time from 0 to 1 and 1 to 0 and so on. And we are running this loop for n times because we know that there are n elements in nums. So this is a simple implementation. After it, we are returning the answer. Now let's see third problem. In third problem, we are given a integer array nums and the number x is lonely if it appears only once and no adjacent elements x plus 1 and x minus 1 appear in array. So there are three conditions. First, it appears only one and there are no adjacent elements x plus 1 and x minus 1 appearing in the array. Now we have to return all the lonely numbers in nums and the answer can be in any order. So we can just simply again make a map of frequency. So we have stored the frequency of all the elements. Now it is in sorted order. After it, we are checking all elements in frequency. So this is the element and element dot second is the frequency of x. If the frequency of x is 1 and we are checking this x plus 1 and x minus 2 are existing in frequency or not, we can see that if x plus 1 does not, we cannot find x plus 1 in frequency map and we cannot find x minus 1 in frequency map as a key, then we know that x minus 1 and x plus 1 does not exist in the array A. So we can simply take this x as a as a lonely as a lonely integer which is present in nums. So we are doing something like this. We can note that the nums dot length can go up to 10 to power 5. So this is n log n solution which will easily pass. Now let's see the solution for the last problem. Maximum good people based on statements. There are two types of person: the good person, the person who always tells the truth; the bad person, the person who might tell the truth and might lie. Now we are given a zero index to the integer array statements, which is of size n gross n, and there are three types of statements ij. If statement ij is 0, it means the person I is saying that jth person is bad, and if it is 1, then it means that person I is telling that jth person is a good person, and if it is 2, then person 1 is making no comments about person j. We can see that a good person always tells the truth and the bad person can also tell a truth and might also lie. Now let's understand better with the example. We can see that we are given example like this. We can see that n equals to 3 in the first example, and we are given statements array as 2 1 2 1 2 2 2 0 2. Let's say this is for the I and this is for the j. We don't need to care about them. Now we want to maximize the number of good persons. So let us assume that all of the persons are good. Means we can assume that first that the zeroth person is also good, first person is also good, and second person is also good. Now, if the zeroth person is good, then it is saying then it will always tells the truth. If it is saying that first person is a is a is a true person, so we can assume that first person is also a true person. Let's assume first person is a good person, zeroth person is also a good person. These all persons are good. If zeroth person is saying that the first person is good, so and we have already assumed that the first person is good, so it is fine. After that, it is not making any comments about the person 2. Now person 1 is saying that the person 0 is good, and we have already assumed 0 to be good. so it is all fine. Now the second person is saying that the first person is bad, but we have already assumed it to be good. So so there is a contradiction and we cannot take the second person as good. Now if we will assume something like this, 1 1 0, then we have assumed that first zero and first person is good. Now now the zeroth person is saying that the first person is good, and we have already assumed the first person to be good, so it is all fine. Now the first person is saying that the zeroth person is good, and we have already assumed the zeroth person to be good, so it is all fine. Now the second person is saying that the second person is saying that the first person is bad, but we know that the second person can also lie. So it can lie, or it can we have assumed the second person to be a bad person, so it may lie or it may tell a truth. Now if it is telling truth, then the first person is bad, and we are end up reducing the number of good persons. But if it is telling a lie, then the first person is good, and we are all fine with the first two as good persons, and we are getting the value of 3, which is valid. We are getting a valid answer if we assume that it is telling lie, and we get this as a non-valid combination if it is telling a truth. So we can assume that it is telling lie, and we get this as our combination. So we have already get the max number of good persons as 2. Now how to solve it? We can see that n is up to 15 only. So 2 to power 15 is not a very big number, and we can simply do brute force. And n bros n is also up to 15 into 15, which is also a very small number. So it takes very less time in checking each combination. So combination is of kind 2 to power n into n square, and n is 15. So and n is already 15, so it is not a big problem. Now let's see. Okay, this is vector of vector int a. This is the statement vector. I have changed it to a. I am taking, this is telling the number of people. This is the answer we want, and this is we can make we know that we can make total 2 to power number of number of permutations. Like there are three numbers, like there are three people, zeroth, first, and second person. We know that it can be a good person or a bad person. Similarly, there are two cases for each person. It may be a bad person or it may be a good person. So there are total 2 to power n combinations, or 2 to power n permutations of zeros and ones we can make of length n. So I am checking for each permutation whether if any of the permutation comes valid, then we can count the number of good people in it. So we have made a function check. This I is giving this I binary representation of it is telling about the permutation. We will see it later. Now if the binary representation of I is a valid permutation, we have made a check function for it. If it is a valid permutation, then we are just finding the number of ones in the binary representation of I. So this is the simple way of finding ones in binary representation of I. We are finding number of ones in binary representation of I. After that we are just changing our answer to max of answer and count. If I is having a binary representation which is a valid permutation. Now how to make this check function? In this check function we will do greedily. We will solve it greedily. If a person, let's see how we will be doing it here. This is the x. X is storing the binary representation of the permutation. Now we will only care about someone who is saying who is who we assume to be a good person. If the ith person is good, as we have assumed in the permutation we are having in x. So x and 2 to power I must be equal to must be non-zero. So this means that the ith person we have assumed to be good. Now we are checking what he have said about the about this about all the jth persons. If aij equals to 0, if aij equals to 0, we know that the ith person always says truth. If aij equals to 0 means jth person is bad. Jth person is bad. And if we have assumed the jth person to be good, means x and 2 to power j must be non-zero. If this is true, means we have assumed the but we have assumed jth person to be good. Then there is a contradiction, so we are returning 0. Means this is not a valid permutation. After that, if the ith person is saying that the jth person is a good person, but we have again assumed jth person to be bad in our permutation represented by x. So we are checking if x and 2 to power j and of 2 to power x and j is if if this is if we have assumed jth person to be bad, means x and 1 to power j is equals to 0, means we are not having a matching bit at the jth position, then we will return 0, because we have assumed ith person to be good, so it always tells the truth and it is saying that the jth person is good. But in our permutation we have made the jth person as bad, so we are returning 0 because there is a contradiction. And if there are no contradiction, then we are simply returning 1, which means it is a valid permutation. Now why it is good? Because we are doing it greedily. If someone is saying that this person is that this person is good, let's say if there is a 2, then we are making no judgments about the jth person. But if it is 0, now there comes two cases. If the ith person is a good person, if ith person is a good person, then we will understand, then we will make then we will take its whatever he says, we take it seriously. If it says the jth person is bad, then we will check for it. And if it says that the jth person is good, then we will check for it. But if it is then if it is a bad person, and if it says that the jth person is good or bad, then we don't care about it. We will always assume that the jth person is good, and we make no judgments about it. Because if we will make no judgments about it, then we are going greedily, means we are not reducing the number of we are not reducing the number of good persons. Means we are not we are not taking what the ith person says seriously if it is a bad person, because if it says the jth person is bad and we have already assumed that the jth person is good, then then we are just reducing the number of good persons, so we do not want that. So this will pass. Thanks for watching.